Hi everyone, this is a pick a card reading for what are their fantasies towards you. So we're going to have a look and see what is coming through. And we've got three piles here. I just want to say, yes, I do have a bit of a different background. I'm just experimenting, so nothing is 100% set. So I know there's a lot going on. This is all like sort of tarot themed, but yeah, just bear with me whilst I'm trying to figure out the best layout while still doing the regular uploads. It's one of these things. All right, so yeah, this is for what are their fantasies towards you. We have three wonderful groups. We've got group number one here with this tricycle, group two with the grandfather clock charm, and then group three with the bouquet of three pink flowers, or pink roses, should I say. So this is your choice, and once you have made a choice for whichever group you are most drawn to, then of course you can go to the timestamps, which will be in the description box below, and you can click on it and then you can view your videos as well. I've been doing this new thing as well, which are chapters, which you can also see in the video. So if you prefer the chapters, let me know. So basically they're like the little breaks that you can see in the video. Let me know if that's easier, if you prefer that, you know, things like that. Definitely make things easier, I think, also for you to just be able to find the reading without having to look for the timestamps. Okay, anyways, anywho, okay, so we've got 1, 2, and 3. Also, if you'd like to win a free reading with me, check out the description box below, since I do a giveaway every single month. If you would like to purchase a private paid reading, they are also listed in the description box below as well. They're done within 24 to 48 hours. So that is what we have there. And also there's my Etsy store as well. So there are intention manifesting items on my Etsy. They are handmade by me, so there are handmade bracelets, necklaces, anklets, pom-poms, tassels, embroidered cards for under your pillow, your wallet, or your purse. You can check out the review section to see how other people have seen results of these items. There's also face masks, crystals, divination coins, charms, pendulums, cloths, bowls, etc. from me to you. Link is in the description box below. There's also items for journaling as well. Everything is meditated with and saged for your intentions so that you can manifest them. Oh yes. Okay, so that is what we have there. I'm just going to push this back a little bit. There we go. All right, let's move these other groups to the side. Actually, let me just do some rearranging. Move this group to the side, move this to the side. Let's put this here, put this here. All right, group number one. What are their fantasies towards you? So I've got some divination cubes as well, which have words on them, which I'm going to use throughout your reading. We have the first card here. I've also got tarot as well. We're really going to look into things. It is a bit more of a sensual, provocative, a little bit more adult-friendly of a deck. So I just want to throw in that little warning. Okay, just a little warning. But we're also going to look at oracle cards as well. So yes, that's what we have there. Let's begin. Okay, so you've got here, okay. So this message here says that sexual union. Honor the place in one another where you are one eternal soul, for there you will find true bliss. I'm so sorry today, I can't even talk. So this really does represent their fantasy in the sense that they see you as one. Now obviously we are not halves that make up a whole, you know, but they, in the context of the fantasy, they see the two of you as one, especially in a sort of sexual union. So there is that sort of fantasy coming through. It's something that we think, you know, I thought I'd just mention there. But yes, so this is really what we do have, and they really do find that with you. And I think one of their biggest fantasies, because fantasies don't always have to be sexual, I just thought I would mention that, you know, for sake of being quite obvious, but the thing here is that one of their biggest fantasies is also seeing a future with you. And I think that this tricycle also means a lot here as well, because it kind of, to me, when I think of a tricycle, I think of, well, it's about stability, and it's also about balance, isn't it? And the thing is, yeah, I know a tricycle has 3 wheels. I'm not seeing that specifically it's about involving somebody else into the connection, but it's more so about being able to grow and have that stability, and even more stability than perhaps 2 wheels. You know what I mean? So that's something that I pick up. And again, this is also about family, children, things like that. Like, they do fantasize about becoming one. So I also think about becoming one, it's also about a unit, family unit, togetherness, where it's one, not just separate, you know? So that's what we have there. Let's put that right there. Well, let's go to, I'm going to get some, well, I'm going to do tarot and I'm going to do the more graphic cards. Okay, so boom, boom. We'll do that. So let's do 4 of these cards to tap into more of the sort of like fantasies, because I know what you're here for, okay? I know you're here for some of the more sort of fantasy things. Let's go with tarot as well. So we've got the fantasy ones here. Well, fantasies are fantasies. I mean, fantasies don't have to be sexual. I know I just mentioned that, but I thought I'd just reiterate it. And then these are sort of some of more the other fantasies. Okay, so I was aiming for 4. Looks like we got more than 4. Goes to show there's a lot that they have on their mind, alright? So definitely they do have more physical intimacy thoughts and fantasies in regards to that, which we'll get into, because there were 6 of those cards that came out and I'm like, whoa, okay. So you got here the Hierophant. If we start with a tarot, the Hierophant again pretty much shows what I just said to you, which is that they do think about family, they think of future, they think of unit as in being together. See these 2 keys that are crossed over? That's about a happy home. You've got the castle in the background as well, so I really do feel that this is about building something together and having something long-term, long-lasting, that has a legacy, that has a history, and building on that history as well. That's a big fantasy of theirs. We've got the Ace of Wands here. Okay, so Ace of Wands again is about the spark, it's about intimacy, it's about chemistry. It goes without saying because it literally matches what we've just said, right? So I'm not going to go around in circles too much in regards to that because I'm pretty sure you guys already know I've mentioned it. But yes, physical intimacy, spark, and also this is about them going places and doing things with you and enjoying time with you, interactions, right? And communication. We've also got the 9 of Cups as well. It's a pretty big fantasy. I feel like this person really likes you a lot, from what I can tell here. And the 9 of Cups here is about sort of, one of their fantasies is manifesting their fantasies. Okay, so I know that sounds crazy, but you know, like, for example, I was thinking of the genie, you know, like, for example, if you get 3 wishes, what would your 3rd wish be? And a lot of people just say, like, oh, I wish I could have 100 more wishes, you know, because they don't want to just end with 3. Anyway, so their main fantasy is to be able to manifest their fantasies. So that's one thing I see, and for it to actually happen. Then we've also got the 6 of Cups as well. I'm just going to push that a little bit to the side. So 6 of Cups here is the romance aspect, doing fun things together, going to places, having gifts, giving, receiving, you know. Okay, we got a little bit sort of in the sexual realm of things, but also in terms of gifts as well, but also I guess in the physical intimacy aspect of things. They do think a lot physically towards you, so it's something to keep in mind. And then the 4 of Swords, being able to rest with you, just, you know, do sort of relaxing things and enjoy time in that sense as well. That's more so the 4 of Swords as well, which I think is quite interesting. So let's go to these more so fantasy cards. So you've got here the 4 of Chalices. So the 4 of Chalices is really, really interesting because I feel like part of this is very much so sort of like the push and the pull. They enjoy the, like, it's really interesting because they enjoy sort of being chased, and they sort of enjoy the energy of being chased, being pursued, and then having to pursue. And so there's like a hot and cold energy here that can occur, but it's more so that they really enjoy that. It gives them the thrill, it gives them a bit of pleasure, especially with the, you've got here like a magnet, you've got scissors, I don't know what this is, I think it's a little pentacle, but it's that energy of, like, you know, being rejected but then needing to pursue, and then pursuing, being pursued. Yeah, they enjoy that. It's one of their fantasies, which I think is rather interesting. 7 of Chalices as well. So 7 of Chalices is a fantasy card because that actually represents the 7 of Cups, and we know that in the 7 of Cups in Tarot is actually all about fantasies and all about that energy. So they really do go in their mind as to how they want to be physically intimate with you, but also do like regular things with you, and they like the thrill of that. Okay, well, we've got the Knight of Swords here as well. Now, the Knight of Swords definitely does show that they do have some like kinky fantasies. We do have like sort of this hair pulling that I see here. We also do have, I think there's a whip on the side, so things like that. We also have here the sun as well, so this is including sort of like fruits and foods as well. So part of their fantasy is to do with food. Now, actually, that's interesting. You have the Hierophant because the Taurus energy is really to do with the five senses and also to do with food as well. Like the Taurus energy is all about being a foodie. I'm not saying that they are Taurus. I'm just pointing that that is an energy we have. And then you do have the Sun here with all of these fruits. So they may really enjoy, you know, and fantasize about sort of going on picnics with you or doing the deed outdoors, things like that. Okay, so that's what we have there. And then we also have the King of Chalices. Oh, sorry, I keep like dropping. There we go. You know, I have long nails and I still can't pick up the cards. And when I had shorter nails, I still couldn't pick up the cards. It's one of those things. That's why I grew them longer. And yeah, I still can't do it. So, okay, so we've got the King of Chalices. So this is about them sort of being dominated. Dominating you. That's what I'm seeing. Now, I'm not specifically seeing you as a male or female. I'm just seeing that the energy here is of their fantasy. And I see them as the one being this sort of King of Chalices energy, whether you're male or female. So they like to dominate you. They like to kind of have you come after them as well, but they would still give to you. So that's really interesting here, is that they kind of like you to chase after them. That's kind of vibe I get, especially with the Hierophant as well. That Hierophant's really speaking to us in the sense that they like to be the king or the queen of the castle, right? And they kind of like it when you come after them in that way. And then you've got here the Knave of Chalices. So you know how I mentioned, okay, so see in the background there's like two people there and this person gets jealous a lot, okay, yeah, they have a tendency to get jealous, and that's actually when they get most triggered, I feel, to really fantasize about you, is when they get super, super triggered. It's interesting because I mentioned I don't see like a three people situation here, but I feel like the tricycle does resemble this energy of them getting jealous. If they were to ever see you with someone, or if you ever brought up someone, they would really, really become so much more triggered towards you. It's not that I see them actively pursuing a third party connection or a third party situation. It's more so that if you were to be with someone else, oh boy, that would really trigger them. I mean, look at this knave here, right? This knave is like so angry. Look at that clenched fist. They're like, oh no, you know, that kind of vibe. So I feel like their fantasies rise a lot when they think about you being with someone else, or they think about you talking to someone else. It really triggers them a ton. Sorry if I'm talking a little bit monotone today. My throat is a little bit on the, it hurts basically a little bit, so I'm just trying to not strain it too much. So if I sound a little bit monotone and not like my usual self, it's because, yeah, I'm just trying to talk in a way where, you know, I don't strain it. Okay, so that's what we have there. Let's go to your oracle card. And then we'll go to the dice, because I'm actually really interested to see what the dice and the charms do say. So this is your card. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. So they do want to do more from what I see. And that's part of what I see here as well, is that their fantasy is that, I mean, part of their fantasy is that you do pursue them, but part of their fantasy is that they hopefully have this and something happens. So they would also then make the effort as well and get on their bicycle and come towards you. You know, it's like a two-way street, and that's what they see. So very interesting messages. Let's go to charms, letters, and the dice. So many people have been asking about this dice. Yes, it was just sitting on my tray. For those of you that have been watching my videos for a very long time, you know that there was just a heart-shaped tray that would always sit there with these dice in it, and I would just never use them. I'd use them from time to time, but never properly, and today is the day. We are going at it completely. So let's open this up. Doctor. Okay, I already know what this is. One of their fantasies is basically playing, I feel, sort of different roles. Okay, so we kind of see that here as well with the Knight of Swords, if you can see that. Sort of playing out different roles, and I think that that's pretty significant here because you have got Doctor. Okay. And also, part of their fantasy is being able to somehow have you heal them, which I think is also interesting. So they like that. They like it when you chase after them more than what they have to do towards you, which I think is also really interesting. So part of this is, some of it is a little bit on the intimate side, physical side, sexual side, and others of it is more so the non-sexual part of it, which is that they like you to be their healer and for you to show that care and show that support and show all of that to them. Now, the one thing I can see here, now you can see a word here, I can actually see a word directly here because I'm sitting obviously at an angle, and this one says fertile. So to me, that definitely goes along with the rest of the reading where we saw this element or energy of children, starting family, being a unit. Okay, so if I show you that, and then I'll just remember there's a word there. So you've got fertile. It was this word, wasn't it? There's so many words now, I don't want to, yeah, so we've got swell and we've got fertile. So fertile and swell is the main words that you could see here. So they kind of go hand in hand because technically swell, when I think of swell, I also think of, like, for example, like pregnancy and children, you know, like that kind of thing. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. Now the other thing that we see, I saw left and I saw wrong, right? So when I see left and wrong, I feel that, I mean, especially if this person is someone that did leave you, they definitely feel wrong about that. And I also feel as well there's something about left, so like the left hand side, maybe they were not listening to what you had to say. So it's really interesting because part of their fantasy here is that even if they are wrong, it's almost like you've left a mark on them. Okay, so that's a link to their fantasy in the sense that they can't stop thinking about you. So I know there's something about the word wrong and something about the word left. I'm not going to go around in circles too much because it's going to apply differently to all of you, but I just gave you a little bit of context to it, right? So I feel like we're good there. So let's go to your charms. Thing is though, I really like to explain things fully. I just don't like to leave something sort of unturned where you have to kind of figure it out yourself, because I feel like that's part of what I do as a reader, right? I have to like read it for you. So yeah, I just thought I'd mention that actually. Let's just do that, right? Because you can see both of these words. Kind of, okay. Oh, you've also got balance at the top there as well, but when it came out, I believe it was like this, it was upside down. So yeah, balance, I mean, you know, that goes with the reading as well. So you got N and an F. We'll do some letters as well. We've got love, okay, so one of the things here that I definitely pick up is that they do love you, they do care about you. You've got Cancerian energy here, okay, Cancer, moon energy perhaps. We do have the moon present here, by the way, looking over us. Ta-da! Okay. What else do we have? And you've also got the moon here, if you can see it. So this is about them intuitively, like thinking a lot about you. You've also got the mermaid as well, which reminds me a lot of the chalices card. So the chalices are like the cups, and mermaid, it really shows that you are very special. I feel like they also really like your back as well. That's something that they really like, whether you're male or female. Your back is something that's really attractive to them. Also that they have your back and they're hoping you have their back. So that's something. See, again, the tree here represents family and roots and wanting to take things and progress things further with you. You've also got here this beautiful yellow charm with these love hearts all over it. And to me, this just shows as well that they want to grow with you. They want to enjoy life with you. They want to do more with you, be more positive, make things work. Got a fish here. Got a lot of water energy, which I think is interesting with the mermaid, the crab, the fish. So I think that, you know, it's very possible that they are thinking about wetness. Do what you want with that statement, okay? But also going with the flow of things and sort of allowing things to naturally progress. And we've got a lot of chalices, okay, so it does make a lot of sense there as well. You've got the 4 of chalices, 7 of chalices, you had the knave of chalices, and also we had the king of chalices as well. You know, water and fire balance each other out. So of course you've got a lot of so water is basically emotion, right? Water is also the more sort of non-sexual part of things as well. And then you've got the fire with the sun as well. And of course, a lot of this intimate energy that's coming through. So it balances, right? With water and fire, it balances each other out. You've got the pink butterfly as well. So this really shows that the feminine aspect is really there as well, in the sense of really connecting to you in many ways. So that's what we've got there. Let's go to your letters. I wasn't originally going to do letters, but I feel like it just goes well. So this can be initials, can also spell out words. We've got FAD. Now, fad actually means something. Fad is like a trend, isn't it? So it could be that they're fantasizing about certain trends or certain things that are really popular, certain films or scenes that happen in certain films. They sort of replay those, but towards you, if that makes any sense. We've got an N, a T, tan as well. Could be something to do with tan. We've got a K and a K and a Q. So that's what we have right there. So yeah, those are your letters, your charms. Let me know how this reading resonates with you. If it does, yeah, definitely comment down below and let me know. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Click on that little bell notification at next to the subscribe button as well if you do subscribe, and of course do check out the description box below if you haven't already, which has got information for private paid readings, free reading giveaway, and of course my intention items, which are on Etsy. So definitely take care everyone and do stay safe as well. Alright, so now we go to group number 2. You know, the sun is shining today. It's so nice because in the UK it's very rare that the sun shines for a couple of days in a row, and I feel good. Yes, let's celebrate the sunshine. Okay, I'm just going to leave this next to me. Put this in here. And let's take these away. Actually, no, I'm not going to hide it behind there. I will probably take it away. I just need to find some space to put it. All right, group number 2. I just realised your timestamps are two. Actually, let's start that again because actually I wrote down the wrong timestamp. Group number 2, hello. How are you? These are their fantasies towards you. So we are going to have a look and see what this person has in terms of their fantasies towards you. You've got here the grandfather clock, which you have chosen, and we will talk about that as well because it's part of your charms. And we've also got this card. We're going to look into tarot, oracle cards. I also have another tarot deck as well, which I am going to implement for more of the sort of spicy fantasies, if you know what I mean. So it is a bit more of a adult deck. So I thought I'd just mention that as a warning, you know, to anyone, because some people do get a little bit triggered with those kinds of decks because, you know, it is kind of sexual and things like that. So I just thought I would let you know it's nothing terrible, nothing bad. You know, that deck isn't like, you know, anything like that. But I thought I'd just mention it in case you're very young and you don't want to, you know, or things like that. And then we're also going to look into charms and divination dice, which I'm so excited about, okay, because I'm finally using them in a reading properly, like as in like, you know, more than one, and also charms as well. Okay, so let's begin. So we've got here this message which says, passion, a magnetic and seductive quality surrounds you at present. Enjoy it. So actually, when I said shares, it actually makes a lot of sense because I feel like one of their fantasies is sharing the passion with you and sharing the moment with you. And again, it says enjoy it as well. So part of that to me is about enjoying this because they feel a lot of really, really spicy, sensual energy towards you, right? A lot of intimate energy towards you as well. It's very magnetic. It's almost like they just can't stay away from you. And yeah, that's coming through. Whether you are around each other, whether you are not around each other, whether you know each other, or you're in a situation with one another, or you're committed, this is sort of for every kind of situation in general. But you'll know if it resonates with you and you'll know if it doesn't. Sorry, those are my dice that sort of just fell over. So let me just, there we go. All right, so that's what we've got there. I think the grandfather clock will also come through as we shuffle more for more cards. Ah, there's a card that fell on the floor. Oh, it's the King of Wands that fell on the floor. Hold on a second. Let me just grab this King of Wands. I just grabbed the deck and then that card just fell out. So King of Wands is definitely all about passion, seduction, a lot of that really strong energy coming through here, which I think is quite strong to say the least. They definitely feel a lot towards you. That's one thing to definitely mention. Three of Cups here. So Three of Cups is not necessarily a bad card. I will say that the Three of Cups here can represent fantasies that they have in regards to celebration and joy. Now these are more of the sort of non-sexual cards, so I just want to mention that, especially when we do talk about the Three of Cups. I know some people might sort of see the Three of Cups as more of like this threesome energy, but I see this card more as a sort of celebration, like doing fun things, going to places. Like fantasies can also be non-sexual. I just wanted to mention that as well. And these are more of the non-sexual cards, right? So to me, this really represents with the King of Wands this sense of, yes, they think intimately towards you, but they also fantasize about doing things towards you, doing things for you, making things happen for you, being there for you when you need them. Like that's also something that they do fantasize about, is actually being nice to you, being kind towards you, being there for you, things like that. And even the Three of Cups here is this energy of socializing and introducing you to more of their friends and their family members and incorporating you more into their life activities, if that makes any sense. Three of Cups is definitely a really strong and very, very powerful energy, which is also tied to celebration as well, so keep that in mind. The Magician is all about, again, communication, doing things towards you, being active towards you, and actually making things happen. So they really want to make their fantasies sort of come to life and do much more towards you, progress much more towards you. Those kinds of things I see very, very strongly on the card. I think that it's nice that we do, of course, have that. Then we also have as well the Knight of Swords. So that's your last card there. Knight of Swords is about them, you know, like wanting to rush towards you, wanting to come towards you, just having that spark towards you where they can't hold back anymore. So one thing to definitely mention is that this person cannot hold back when it comes to you. They are feeling so attracted to you to the point where they just can't hold back. So they feel very passionate towards you, and they really appreciate how you are within yourself. They like your independence, they like your confidence, they like, you know, even if you don't feel these things, they feel like you are these things. So keep that in mind. How we see ourselves and how someone else sees us can be two very different things. You know, they feel like you have a lot of self-confidence, self-worth, self-acceptance, and that you're really, you're a person they can trust. So keep that in mind, that they really do feel those things towards you, and they have that really active, strong energy towards you, which they really do appreciate. And so then there is that. I don't know, hold on a second, I have to get those other cards. I just picked up the Oracle deck, but I'm actually going to get the other deck. Okay, so let's have a look and see what's going on here. We've got the Sun. We also have here the Two of Swords. So we see that seduction here as well, right, with the rose. So that's really interesting. The Two of Swords is an energy, actually, you know, the Two of Swords can actually represent peace as well. I feel like a lot of people don't recognize that because they feel like it's all about indecisiveness, but the Two of Swords does have another meaning, which is peace. And I know that sounds crazy, but the Two of Swords can also be seen as a gesture of balance, even in difficult times, which I think is really interesting. So the Two of Swords to me does represent this energy of them wanting to sort of seduce you, perhaps even if you are sort of unsure, or if they are unsure, like they still, you know, feel that energy towards you, and that still draws them to you in many ways. So yeah, you see a rose there as well, so it could be that they, you know, gift you roses, or that they seduce you with roses, things like that I see. Speaking of flowers, we've got roses in the background here. You got grapes as well, that's something we're seeing. We have cups, right? So the cups can also hold, like, say for example, wine or things like that. Perhaps they like going for a drink with you, you know, things like that I see, or want to go, you know, one of their fantasies is to socialize with you and go places with you in that sense, or go to a winery. You know, there are these kinds of fantasies that we see. Remember, the fantasies are the things that they think about here. And also we have got grapes in the background of the Nine of Pentacles as well. You got roses here too, so got a lot of roses, got a lot of fruits, got a lot of flowers. Well, flowers are roses. No, roses are flowers, there we go. You've also got here a lot of fruits in the Sun card as well, so this can really showcase as well that, you know, perhaps when they fantasize, think about seducing you, they use fruits, flowers, setting the mood, incorporating taste into the mix. Just something I'm seeing. You know, the Sun here is definitely about the heat and the fire that they have towards you. So it's really interesting here. Five of Wands. Like that's pretty significant, okay? Because the Five of Wands here shows definitely, look at this person sort of looking at these other two people. To me, I really think, especially with the Sun card as well, that they have the fantasy of sort of doing it out in the open. So sort of having that sexual fantasy of doing the deed out in the open. So that's something to kind of keep in mind, and then sort of having that fear of getting caught, which I think is really interesting and like, whoa, that's, you know, that's a big thing sort of coming out there. And then we also have here the Three of Pentacles, so this element of just really seducing you and a lot of passion. You know, passion is a big thing that we see there, but also with the Sun card as well, like a lot of passion, and that's coming through with the Three of Pentacles. Also, Three of Pentacles is teamwork and collaboration, so making things work with one another and sort of being in harmony with one another. And Three of Cups can also be seen as harmony as well, and different sort of positions and things like that, which we see many of. We see lots of different positions all across there. You've also got Temperance as well. So they're really in love with your body, whether you're male or female. They are really, I feel like they're obsessed with your body and how you look, but also how you are as a person. Temperance is also about the inner beauty, which I think is also really important to point out as well. Temperance is about balance and them feeling like, you know what, you're pretty simple to be around, and that you're really kind and caring and actually very nurturing as well. So they're really attracted to the inner and the outer here. And then you've also got the Knave of Pentacles. So you see the Knave sort of like dripping this water down the person. It's kind of this, again, this element, which I think is interesting, is you've got cups. I did mention wine as well, so that's sort of come through. You've got a candle there as well, sort of seducing in that manner. So something we already mentioned, so I'm not going to go through it again, but again, there's that element of sort of wanting to seduce you with sort of taste and foods and drinks and flowers and things like that, and touch, you know. So that's what we have there. And yes, shall we now go to the charms? Oracle cards. Oracle cards. Okay, let's go with the Oracle card first. So I have a lot of fantasies, I'd say it's definitely a lot more passionate, is what I want to say. For sure, it's a lot more passionate, a lot more communicative. They like to communicate with you through sort of touch and taste and smell and things like that, for sure. So we've got here, let go of control issues, allow the situation to unfold naturally. So I definitely feel here that one of their biggest sort of fantasies as well is just for things to sort of happen naturally, to not feel forced. That to them just makes them feel even more passionate about the situation, the more forced it feels, or the more sort of obsessive. Say, for example, you might even get with your spiritual energy, the more they can feel that, and they just feel like, whoa, this is a lot, you know. So they just like things to go very naturally, and to kind of, that spontaneous energy really allows them to feel so much more like in the moment, rather than sort of forcing it or having a routine. So they are very spontaneous in that sense as well, and that's really what keeps the heat and the passion alive for them in regards to their fantasies towards you. Okay, so now we go to the charms and letters, and the dice. I'm really excited about these divination dice. They have words on them, so that's why. Okay, let's go to the dice first. Okay, well, what do we have here? So we have rides and we have looks, okay? So they're really, really obsessed with your looks. And yeah, so in terms of positions, you can kind of see where we're going with this one, okay? I just thought I would tell you that. Yep, that's all I'm going to say, all right? It's pretty obvious here. Then we also have silly as well, so they like doing sort of fun, silly things with you, enjoying time with you. You know, humour is a huge part, I feel, of also themselves as well. They're not completely serious, they're quite spontaneous, and they like that aspect of humour and just doing fun things with one another. So that's one of the main words we can see there. What else can you see from your angle? You can see with and for, and I can also see shines. Okay, so I really feel like they think about things with you. They like to do things and think about how they can do things for you, which also is the King of Wands energy. And then shine here as well really goes to show that they do feel like you shine in terms of your energy. We have here Temperance and the Nine of Pentacles. They like how you are within yourself. They like how you come across, and that you're a really peaceful person. You shine in terms of your energy, something that they absolutely love and they adore you for. Alright, let me try and do this so that you can actually see your words a little bit. And then we also have here the sort of three that I can see here is that, many, and a. So Many is that they have many fantasies, and then we do have that and A, which, to be honest, some of these are known as haiku cubes, so of course they're for sort of other purposes, but I use them for divination dice because they've got some fantastic words that really can relate to situations. So that's what we've got there. So yes, that is that. I'm seeing if I could make a sentence out of it, but I don't really think I can. You might be able to, you might see that the words connect in a certain way as soon as you look at them. So the letters can be initials. It can also spell out fantasies as well. So we've got P, a W, we've got a Q, an N, an X, an F, a V, N, M, L, B, U, wow, we've got a lot here, G, T, A, and a C. So you got cat. Cat also has another word, you know what I mean, right? And that tends to be, that can be like sort of a fantasy, something to do with, not as in like an actual cat, just thought I'd, mention that. Oh my gosh, I really need to like clear things up. Well, we do have cat here, okay, so cats are known for their sort of personality as well. So I feel like they are really, they fantasize a lot about your personality. If you're a woman, they fantasize about your you-know-what, okay? Relates to the word. Then you've also got here as well, from what I can see, there was a word that I saw, but now I can't see it. Here we go. Bum. Okay, so just saying, okay, I'm just saying. So you might be able to find additional words that sort of relate as well to you, which I may have missed, so it's just something that to mention. Okay, let's go to charms. Oh, we've got a cactus or a cacti. So that to me again represents this sense of, again, sort of allowing things to grow and grow naturally, and them really embracing you for who you are and really feeling attracted to you for who you are and not because they feel like you have to be someone else. You've also got this star, which is a tiger eye, so they feel like you're a really strong, confident person. They're very, very much so attracted to how you are within yourself and not just for your looks. So I definitely do want to mention that, is that they do like you inside and out, which is something I did mention beforehand, which I think is really important. And yeah, I'm glad I mentioned that because I think it is really important to mention. You've got the dragonfly as well. So the dragonfly actually is quite lucky in many ways because, again, it kind of goes to show that they do have these fantasies towards you, which they feel are, of course, very, very important and quite significant, and that they feel like you make them fly, you make them feel better, you make them also a better person. So when they think about you, they think about all these changes that they could do and how they can grow and transform and even become stronger within themselves. So you kind of trigger them to become a better person too. Like I said, fantasies are not always sexual. However, they can be, and that is definitely dominant, in the readings as well, in many ways. We've got the tree. So yeah, I feel like this person does think about what the future could be like for the two of you. You have got the grandfather clock as well. So they do think about, how you are well raised and that you are such a nice person from within yourself. So they think about sort of you, how you've been raised and your family. They do think about your family, and they also have thought about what things could be like in the future between the two of you and things like that. This is also about sort of time, the elements of time as well, and them thinking like, okay, well, like what could happen in the future? What could happen with time? They also sometimes feel like they don't have, enough time because, I don't know, that's like something I see, and they feel like, oh, I need to do something, So one of their fantasies here is kind of being able to make things known to you in as a good amount of time. That's what we have there. And then you also have the moon with the little crown on top and the angel. So they feel like you are their angel in many ways, and they feel so attracted to you. And for example, that's how they see you. They don't just see you for the person you are, they see you for all these amazing qualities as well. So say, for example, you see the sun outside, someone who just like loves the sun might see the sun with a crown on top, you know, because that's just how they love the sun so much. So, you know, for example, if you just saw the moon outside, you know, would you picture it with a crown and some wings? Because, you know, maybe you see it as something even more special to yourself. So they see you like that, you know, they see you as someone that's just more special, and it's also got some hearts on it as well. They also feel like you're very intuitive, and they also feel so connected to you. They just feel this very strong spiritual connection and link to you, which is so magnetic, which we did mention here as well, right? Very, very magnetic. It's like they can't stay away from you. It's like a magnet just like draws them in, and that's the kind of vibe we see. So, group number 2, this is your reading. If this resonates with you, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Check out the description box below for information on private paid readings, rereading giveaway, and of course intention items, which are on Etsy. If you have subscribed, please do click on the little bell next to the subscribe button, so that just helps as well to make sure my videos go into your subscription box. And yes, that's what we have here. I hope that you will take care and stay safe as well, and I hope to see you all very soon as well for the next videos that I do post. And take care, everyone. Alright, so I am going to, let's take away these letters. And let's see here. I love doing this. It's so therapeutic doing it in the video itself. Okay. We've got the flowers. Okay. Group number 3, what are their fantasies towards you? We are going to have a look and see what is coming through. So you have chosen the 3rd pile, which has this beautiful little bouquet of flowers. This is also an intention item which is found on my Etsy store, so if anyone actually wanted to purchase this, it has an intention to manifest love. So yeah, do check out my Etsy store if you are interested. Anyways, I thought I'd just mention that they are handmade as well. Okay, so let's have a look and see what we have here. So your first card is power. So one of their fantasies is power. Okay, you instinctively know what is right for you, and you have the power to say no or to walk away at any time. So one thing that they really fantasize about is power, and that is something that they really like in regards to you. Now sometimes power can also be a little bit toxic. It can be hard, it can be sad, it can be very, you know, like it can be a lot. So we'll see what the dynamic of this power is, because I think that's really important to check up on. But they do like power, and they like the ability to sort of have that power to say yes or to no or to walk away or to be like this or that. You know, they like power, they like control. Okay, so we'll have a look at the context of that, because I think that's really, really important to have a look at, of course. So what we will do is I am going to, in this reading, I'm going to use tarot. Okay, so this is the Magic Seer deck, which is very close to Rider-Waite. Then I'm also going to use the sort of more sexual cards. So I just wanted to give a little warning that yes, there is a sexual element to this. So just wanted to let you know, especially for those of you that are perhaps extremely young. I don't know what age. I think, well, I know the analytics of my channel, but sometimes, you know, like really young people might just stumble upon these kinds of videos, so I have to give a bit of a warning. And then oracle cards and charms and divination dice and letters. We'll look into everything, okay? So let's start first of all with tarot. I want to see what the dynamic of this power is. Ooh, sorry. The reason I said that was because I literally have a setup here which represents the cards. You see the moon there? Oh, sorry. That. This tower. There. Stars. There. Okay, so we're really blending into the backgrounds here. I feel like the power dynamic here is more so that they just, sometimes I feel like this person may have some emotional wounds or some emotional issues from childhood that sort of has allowed them to feel quite powerless when they were young. And so they like to have that power in relationships, in connections, when they are talking to people or in their work environment. They like to have that because they never really had that before. So that's what I see here with the Three of Wands and the Page of Cups. Is it's like a little bit of a, what do you call it, like a trophy to them. It's an achievement to them, and that's what I see here. It's like, wow, finally the fish is in the cup. You know, that was hard. I've never had a fish in the cup before. That kind of vibe. So when someone hasn't had something, they really value it. You know, they really want it, and that's something I see here. So would I say that the power dynamic is extremely toxic? Well, it really depends on your situation. I would say no from the perspective of this. I mean, I don't want to make excuses, you know, for the issues that they do have, but I do feel here that it's something that they will transition out of, because when you have the moon with the star, it shows healing from whatever is the issue or what's being hidden, which are you know, a lot of their feelings and a lot of that sort of need for control, which some of them may have shared with you, some of may not have, right? Or some of them may have showed that to you via actions. There we go. Can't even speak today. Wow. So the star here is about healing that, okay? And the moon is about cycles and phases and being able to get through those cycles and phases. So what I see in terms of their fantasies towards you is that they actually keep a lot of their fantasies towards themselves. So they may not express a lot of these fantasies. They may keep a lot of their emotional aspects in that sense to themselves. They really like your body with the star card as well. The power dynamic is that they really like to have control. So that sometimes this person can be hot and cold towards you, but they actually really like that because they feel like they are in control and that you're kind of going after them. So just keep that in mind. I don't feel like this person is terrible. I don't feel like this person is evil. I just want to get that out of the way as well. It's just that they have struggled with this in the past. So having that control is something that they really appreciate. But as time goes by, it will go down. And the reason for that is because they'll realize that that's actually not something that they need to stress over or accumulate or feel like they need all the time, like need that all the time, you know? So the Page of Cups here also shows that they love just, you know, kind of being childlike and fun and humour. That element of things is also part of their fantasy. Remember, fantasies can also be non-sexual, so it's something to keep in mind. But they really do like your body. They like how you do things. They like how you go about things. They like how you make them feel. Yes, they like the element of power, but you also support them. And that's something that I feel like they have really lacked. And that support means a lot to them. So they're not willing to create such a power dynamic to the point where they're really toxic towards you, from my understanding. However, if you are in a toxic situation, then you must judge for yourself. Because remember, this is a general reading. So it will resonate naturally with some people, but may not resonate completely with others. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. Then you've got the Knight of Cups here as well. So yeah, they do really have a lot of that emotional energy towards you, although they may keep it hidden. But once they really start to heal from a lot of their issues, I feel like their fantasies really start to grow towards being much more mature and letting go of that power dynamic. And remember that you also have power as well. It's not like you're completely powerless in this situation. You also have a choice, right? It's not like you're being held. I don't personally feel like you're being held hostage, okay? It's just something to keep in mind. So that's what we have there. Let's see what these cards here are saying. All right, so what do we have? So their fantasies here are pretty interesting, I would say. Three of Wands is that energy of sort of you waiting around for them. That really just makes them feel really good, because I feel like nobody's really ever properly done that for them before, and it just makes them feel like, yeah, I have control, you know? And I feel like they've really lacked a lot of control and stability in their life beforehand, or something could have happened, so they really appreciate that. So you've got the Eight of Chalices. Yeah, the Eight of Chalices is known as the Eight of Cups, which I think is interesting, because I definitely feel like they enjoy kind of knowing that you know, they could be kind of just taking care of themselves, or even if they don't feel good, that you'll always be there for them in that sense, which is interesting. And again, there's that energy of sort of retreating and doing fun things. So one of their fantasies here is sort of taking a holiday with you as well, and kind of doing something super romantic, uber romantic, dancing, things like that. So that's something to keep in mind. Like, they do want to do things with you, but I do feel like this person struggles emotionally. It's when they start to get themselves together emotionally that things will really start to change, where the power dynamic's not really going to be so brutal-ish, in a sense where you're not going to feel like, okay, well, they're just doing this for power, you know. They're going to give you power too. Because they're not trying to take it away from you. But see, Emperor. They fantasize about being dominant, having power, doing things their way. As time goes by, they'll be much more in sync, I feel, here as well, right? And also the Emperor is, again, about someone who's a little bit more detached, doesn't necessarily say their emotions out loud, is someone that shows more through actions than words and emotions. So just something to, again, to keep in mind. There is that fiery energy there as well, which is quite significant. We've also got some fruits as well, so they might try and seduce you via foods and things like that. Foods and, yeah, look at this. Is that a lemon? Some kind of food, you know, like kind of seducing you with that. So that's what we have here with the Knight of Pentacles. So they do fantasize about taking things further with you, but bit by bit and slowly but surely, once they sort of have stabilized a lot more within themselves. So it's something to keep in mind. We also have here as well the Ten of Swords. So, you know, the Ten of Swords is really interesting because I do feel like this person may have caused a little bit of a frustration, worry, some form of perhaps even sadness in you at one point, you know, or just a lot of excessive worrying. And the Ten of Swords here, I think it's really interesting because, again, that power dynamic can really frustrate you. I mean, some of you may be in a third-party situation. I don't see this for all of you. I'm just saying that with the little bouquet that we have with 3 roses and also the 3 of Wands. But I don't feel like this applies to everyone. It's not a third-party situation for everyone, but I definitely feel like they have been hurt in the past, okay? So this is more so about, I mean, some of you may have been hurt by this person, okay? But I feel like, okay, so here's what I'm saying. If they have hurt you, whoever they have been with has made them realize how much they do actually feel more towards you, okay? And if you have been, so if they have hurt you, so if they have been hurt, which I feel like they have, something's happened in their past here that's really hurt them. They have really recognized just how much they want to be in sort of like the more powerful situation because they have lost their power, or they lost their power in the past. So that really tempts them to kind of want to get back to that place of having power where someone else could have done this to them. So that's what I want to keep in mind, because it's like, you know, feeling really upset that something else is going on, you know, behind their back. So just want to keep that in mind. It's going to resonate differently with different people, but yeah, I feel like they've definitely been hurt in the past, and something has happened where they felt like they've also lost their power, and also in childhood they felt like they lost their power. So it's basically a cycle that repeats that has to be broken with healing. And that is really something I see here. So regards to their fantasy towards you, that's why they like to have power, is because they really lost it. And some of you may have also felt like this, perhaps because maybe they repeated something similar with you. So just keep that in mind, that it's going to resonate in different ways. So that's the Ten of Swords. You also have here the Nine of Wands as well. So this is the element of the outdoors. You've got all of these birds as well, nature, so they might, you know, think about sort of doing fun things with you in nature in terms of the sort of more fantasy element of things, physical intimacy element of things. This can also be just kind of like flirting and having a good time in nature, talking about things. You've also got nature here as well. You've got birds in the background there of the Star card as well. So that's really interesting. Doing things outdoors. And kind of wondering, actually, you know, if you get caught, there's that sort of like exciting energy of that which I'm picking up off of them. You also have here as well the King of Chalices. So they like to be in power. Whether they're male or female, okay, I don't read genders specifically in tarot. I read energy. I can't even speak energies. So this to me really strikes me as them, and this strikes me as you. So whether you're male or female, but they like to be dominant and kind of have that power over you because it's something that they've lacked. And I feel like someone really did them wrong in their life, which is why they have just kind of taken this approach and this route. But they do care about you, because the Three of Roses, let's call it the Three of Roses. The Three of Roses really does represent this energy where they really do care about you and they really like you, and they do want to progress things with you as well, from what I can sort of pick up as well. You can see those hearts as well on the back of the vellum. So that's what we've got there, and yeah, so they do want to progress things with you. They do fantasize about moving things along with you as well. Their biggest fantasy here is that they do like the power. I don't feel like they're doing it completely for power, otherwise, yes, it would be extremely toxic. I don't feel like they're doing it for power. I do feel like they genuinely do care about you, but they're also trying to make sure that they don't get hurt, which is why I feel like they're depending a lot more on their power and sort of keeping their guard up, because they definitely don't want to hurt themselves. You know, it's one of those big things. That's why they're taking things also quite slowly. So let's go with the Oracle card. We've got here separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. So some of you may already be in separation. The Eight of Cups, it was one of those things that I pointed out, right? That some of you may not be around each other. Some of you may feel like this person's being quite hot and cold or retreating, or that, you know, they sort of like to be in control in that sense. So it's just something to keep in mind, is that they may take a little bit of space, and they actually really like that, interestingly enough, because they feel like that also maintains and gives them the element of sort of being in power, where they're not losing themselves in a connection. They like to sort of have that sort of space. So it's just time apart. It's nothing huge, but that is something that I do see here. Let's get another card as well. I feel like I'm going to worry quite a lot of you, but I don't want you to necessarily worry. But the Three of Wands, the Moon, the Star, the Eight of Chalices, and this card, it all represents a very similar thing, where sometimes they need space, they can be hot and cold. So separation doesn't always mean that it's like split apart, forever. It basically means that it's about, you know, time just taken apart. A bit of space, that's what it is. And this person does struggle a lot with their emotions, which is why they do like that element of space and sort of having control, because they don't want to fall so hard and then get their heart broken again. They're trying to be really cautious, is what I'm seeing here. Okay, so trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith. So that's literally what it is. We know that the Star card is also about faith as well. So, you know, but that's part of their fantasy, is that they like to sort of maintain control to make sure that they don't get hurt. And that's part of them taking care of their emotional needs. Even though they tend to keep a lot of their emotions within themselves, you may find it hard to understand why they do that, but that's the reason why they do that, is so that they can sort of maintain an amount of control so that they don't get hurt. So yeah, if the two of you are in separation, you know, or there's just this hot and cold energy, just know that they're trying to do this so that they can still maintain control. Otherwise it makes it really hard for them. But it's nothing that I don't see the separation in the sense of like it being long term, let's say. Okay, so let's see letters. Oh, we got a lot of letters. Okay, so we got F, E, F, B, M, V. That's interesting. Got W, K. Yes, I know we have we, but that's not what I'm trying to spell out here. I've got weak as well. Re. Got an R, a J. Ooh, you know how they say like on fleek when something's really on point? That's interesting. It's more of a modern word, I would say. I think the last time I looked up fleek, it was in the dictionary, and I was like, huh? Like online. Apparently, well, they add a lot of modern words in the dictionary these days, so honestly I wouldn't be surprised, but it is quite random. I'm sure that you will find words in here that make a lot of sense for your situation as well, so something to keep in mind. This can be initials as well between the two of you, but they do like you a lot. It's just that they've been through a lot of hard, difficult moments, which is making it difficult for them to be completely, like, you know, completely balanced. But that's one of the things that they really do want to work on in terms of the fantasy element of things. So let's go with the dice, or die. No, dice, plural. Oh, okay, so we've got 3 there. Oh, okay. So I'm obviously looking at things from this angle, right? And you're looking at things from this angle. So what I'm going to do is, let's just look at each die as and how we see it. So this one, okay? So what you can probably see is went. That's the one word that you can see there. What I can see is from this angle, it says blows. So I'm just saying, okay, it can be a fantasy of theirs. So went. Went is very interesting because went is also to do with sort of power, right? Power dynamic, especially if there has been a split or separation or hot and cold energy. Obviously, there is a went energy. So we've also got blows, okay? So I just thought I would mention that to you. It's very self-explanatory. I don't feel like I need to say anything more in that regard. So that is what we have there. I'm actually just going to put it so that you can see both of them. There you go. Then when we look at this one, I can see that on this side it says logical. This one says swell, and then I can see here fertile. So I do feel here that they have thought about a future with you, which I think is really interesting. Logical means that they're just trying to be logical and they're trying to take care of themselves to make sure that they don't get hurt. You know, that is part of their sort of thinking. The Emperor is also known to be very, very logical in terms of how they make their decisions. So I'd say that they're just trying to be logical. Swell here is interesting. I feel like what they're trying to do is they're trying to make sure that things don't blow up so much to the point where they can't handle it. So that's why I feel like they're being logical. And then of course you do have fertile as well. So they have thought about, you know, family, the future, things like that, but they're just trying to be logical in terms of the directions that it goes in. So there you go, you've got logical, which is kind of, my nails kind of covering it, swell, and you've got fertile. Okay, so those are the words we saw there. So let's just put that like so. You can kind of see them. Well, you can only see one, so do it that way. Then you've got this, so you can see 3 words, and so can I. So we've got here overlook, wind, and following. So the nature aspect of it really comes through. I definitely feel like they've had a fantasy of doing something very intimate with you in nature and in the outdoors. So that would be wind. We've also got following as well. So this could be to do with social media. It could be to sort of, you know, see what you're doing as well, maybe asking people about you, making sure you're okay, things like that. And then overlook here as well is that they like sort of looking over you. It's a dominant energy which we pick up with the King of Chalices, and also the Emperor as well, is that they do like to retain and have an amount of power and dominance. So that's what we have there. Let's go with the charms. That's the final element. Well, we've got a hashtag. So yeah, in terms of following, like that goes along really, really well with social media, so that's something to keep in mind. We also have here the Q as well, so they could have been sort of looking over your photographs or images of you on social media, or trying to Google your name, see what comes through. That's really interesting. You've also got a knight here as well, which I think is really interesting. So they have really fantasized about sort of moving things along with you here, but also in a way that feels logical to them, and perhaps not so quick, simple, you know, fast, if that makes sense. You've also got the tiger eye, so they feel like you're super, super strong. They like your strength, they like your confidence, but they also like to maintain that themselves. So they do like to have a bit more of that power within themselves, because, you know, tiger eye is all about strength and power as well. Oh, look who we have here. We have this sort of mix between the root chakra and the sacral chakra energies. So the root chakra is about stability and security, whereas the sacral chakra is about sensuality and sexuality and things like that. So it's a real mix here where they do have those intimate feelings towards you, but they also do care about you as a person. It's just that they're also trying to protect themselves as well, and not take too much advantage of you in that sense. And you also have a P as well. So that's what we've got there. I mean, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, Moonlight, there's a B as in B-E-E, there's a we as in W-E-E, there's also a P as in P-E-E, like what's happening here, Moonlight? Honestly, I don't know what to really tell you, but I will say we do have here as well Peer, okay? So, P-E-E-R, so, you know, peer is more of an energy of like sort of them also trying to get advice from their peers or their friends, people around them. So that's really interesting in terms of their fantasies towards you. I don't really feel like they're necessarily sharing all of this because they do keep things inwards, but people could be sort of asking them, sort of pressuring them into, you know, telling them, but I don't feel like they do because they keep a lot of things inwards, which I think is really goes to show that this person is strong, you know, in that sense. So this is what we do have for you, group number 3. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Check out the description box below for information on private paid readings, free reading giveaway, and of course intention items, which are on Etsy as well. Don't forget to, if you have subscribed, click on the little bell notification as well so that my videos will go into your subscription box, and do take care as well, everyone. Bye!